Okay, now that you've created your ConvertKit account and have logged in, we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to create a basic form that has your name and your email address, has a name and email address field, and then in order to add the custom fields that we need, we have to go in and add a new subscriber, which then will allow us to add the custom fields. I don't know why it's set up this way. It's a little unintuitive, but that's the way ConvertKit is working here. So we'll go to the Forms tab, create a new form. Yours might look a little different. It'll probably look like this Broadcast tab because you have no forms in there, and your new form button might be up in the upper right. Mine is down here on the lower right because I have a form already. So let's click New Form, and we're going to select just a basic form, and in this case an inline form. It doesn't really make a difference because we're not technically going to be using the form that we're creating. We're just going to be using the fields that we create on the form. So we'll go inline, and then we'll just choose a clean form. Now automatically by default set up your first name field and your email address field. Alright, so let's just give this a name. Call it Podio New Lead. And I'm going to tag on tutorial after this so I know. And then we'll save. So now this is saved. So we go back to click on the Forms tab, we'll see that it has been created. Now we're going to go and add a dummy subscriber to this. So we'll go back to the Subscribers tab. Lower right, or if you can't see it, maybe scroll down a bit. Click Add Subscriber. Add a single subscriber. Put in your first name, and then your email address. Select the form here, because you have to select one thing here to add it to, so it gives it a base. And we'll select the form that we just created. Click Save. And then that subscriber will show up here. It'll be the first one on the list. Now in order to create the custom fields that we'll need, click on the subscriber. Now when you create a custom field, it gets added to all subscribers, not just ones for this form or another form. So as you can see, in the past I've added address, city, item ID, lead ID, state, street, and zip. What we need to add here, just for this tutorial, is the address field and also the item ID field. So let's click this Add New Field, type in address. I'll call it address 2, and the value, nothing. And then we'll add another field. We can call this item ID. I'm going to tack on a 2. You just use item ID. Okay, now after we've added these fields, we'll hit this Update Subscriber. So this will add the fields. You can see address 2, item ID 2. For your case, you'll see address and item ID. Now going forward, I'm just going to be selecting item ID and address in the form just to keep it consistent for what you're seeing. So we'll go to Forms, click on the new form that we created, click this plus button. This will add a new field. Click on the field, and now in this property windows to the right, you'll see this is a custom field. Now we have to select the custom field. So you can see all the custom fields will show up here. You'll have 2. You'll have address and item ID. So in this case, we just want the address field to go here. And then we can call this good. Let's save that. Now we'll add another field. We'll add the item ID field. which this is going to be the Podio item ID, so we can then use it later on if we need to refer back to which Podio item this subscriber is related to. So again, we click the plus, click in the field properties window to the right, select item ID, and then save. So that's it. Now we have our form created, and we will populate this form using the Zapier Zap that we'll create later on in the tutorial, and you'll see how that goes. If you have any questions or issues, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.